Hey guys, Disclaimer Magic here, and it's time to share with you the story that I've had a couple requests for because I've made references to it a couple times. Now, every once in a while, usually it's MTG Lion, but somebody posts a story about something just wacky that happened at a local gaming store, or to a local gaming store. Like, somebody, breaks in and steals everything, or somebody steals something right out in the open. I heard that one in my comment section. Or management changes, or, I'm naming boring stuff. I've heard some pretty interesting stories. Of course, there's the local gaming store that, burned down, and they had all these expensive cards just get torched. Oh, and then there was the story of the local gaming store where somebody crashed a steamroller into the awning while doing road construction, and then drove off like nothing happened, and then lied about it to the police. My local gaming store. The one that I own. By the way, the new awning is lovely, very much of an improvement. I like it a lot. But that all refers to my new store. Now, I moved actually fairly recently. A while back, I had a store in a different location. It was actually only about a block away, but we moved it since. I like the new location better. But something even more interesting happened at the old place. I hesitated to actually share the story because it does contain something that's gray area, legal, illegal-ish. I'll leave it up to you. Who cares? Not that important. But, that describes half the things I do before lunch. So, whatever. It was a long time ago, and it was a couple years ago. So I lived in a certain apartment, and my roommate bought a house, and so he moved out to his house, and then I had the apartment for an extra month before the lease was up, and so I found another apartment, much smaller one. That's the one I'm in now. But I had to be out of mine by the 31st of the month, the 30th or whatever. And then I couldn't be in the new apartment for 3 days until the 3rd of the month. So there was a gap there. And I thought, well, I could, get a hotel, but I'm broke. I'm always broke. I was broke back then and I'm broke now. So, if I don't have to spend, whatever X per day, then I won't. So I thought, well, there's two places I rent. One's my apartment and one is my shop. And my shop had, well over 1,000 square feet. I don't remember exactly, but it was big enough and it kind of had a back room for storage. I thought, wow, that coincidentally would fit a mattress. So I borrowed a blow-up air mattress from a friend of mine and blew it up in the back and, brought a couple things over. And by a couple things, I mean I brought everything over. My entire apartment was there. I forgot about that. So it was a little cramped. The whole hallway was just full. It was absolutely full of stuff from my apartment. I mean, I don't own that much stuff. It wasn't absurd, but my shop had a lot of inventory too. Now, obviously, my shop didn't have a shower. It just had a regular shared bathroom for the 3 tenants in a row. It was kind of like a strip, but we shared a really unique, triple joined one that all shared a hallway and a bathroom. It was quite odd. But no showers, so I get to smelling pretty bad after, about 24 hours. So I just took a shower at my parents' house, which is where I really should have been staying in the first place. But I thought, hey, why stay there when I could be here? And that's where, one of my major computers is. That's where, my tablet is. And that's where all my work is. I could just work until, midnight and just get tons and tons of backlogged work done, sort cards and fix up stuff that's broken and, just do projects that have been just going on forever. And it worked. It was great. I mean, I would close and then just stay there, basically, and I would just keep working. And I know that sounds terrible, but it was nice because no customers were there to interrupt me. So I actually got stuff done. I was just kind of, dicking around and watching Netflix while, working on stuff. And it was great. So every single morning I woke up, got back to work, got everything done for the day. And then, if a customer came in, I'd be right there at the counter ready to jump on it. And I could drive around to vendors and do everything I needed to do. It was fantastic, except for the third night. Now, the third night, I kept all the lights off in the front of the shop, and I kept all the lights off really in the back of the shop, and then in the very back hallway in the storage room, I had the lights on. So nobody could really see that I was there. Otherwise, me walking around in a t-shirt and sweatpants and, just chilling. I guarantee a customer would be like, oh, well, he's there. I can see him. So he's open. And, I had a glass door. So, yeah, they could see me. And trust me, I've had customers stop in at 9 o'clock at night on a Sunday because they saw that I was there just driving past. I'm like, yeah, that's not rude. But there was this cart that would just park out in front, and I didn't know who the hell they were. I mean, they were just sitting there. They just parked out there. There's nothing else to do. None of the other businesses were open past, I don't know, probably 6, which is when I closed. And I was thinking, why is this guy in my parking lot? I mean, he just pulled up there, turned off the lights, and he's just sitting there, just not getting out of his car. He wasn't on the phone. He's just sitting there. Now, normally that would be concerning, and other people would be like, oh my gosh, I'm so scared. What if he comes and tries to break in? I don't have a very good lock, and the front door's made out of glass. Oh no, I'm in so much trouble. No, I'm more like, hey, I've got a pistol and a shotgun. Good night. You have a lot more confidence when you have multiple guns, trust me. Now, in pretty much every single state except for one, believe it or not, in America, you're not allowed to shoot somebody just because they're walking off with your property. And I think in that last state, it's based on value. So you got to real quick think, how much is that thing they stole? Oh, okay, I could shoot them, which is just stupid. But if they aim a weapon at you or really even threaten you with a gun or say they're going to shoot you and have a gun in their hand, you're allowed to blow their freaking head off. And yeah, if somebody threatens my life, that's the only time I would shoot at them. I have a taser and pepper spray as well, and those work just as well at apprehending a criminal. So eventually, after like an hour and a half or 2 hours, the guy finally left, and I'm like, that was freaking weird. You know, what is he, like, casing the joint, just making sure nobody's there? My car was parked in the back because I didn't want people to know I was there, so as far as he knew, it was empty. So, naturally, once he was gone, I walked up to the front door and put a backup contact brake alarm that we have that's like 120 decibels, and I've accidentally set it off, like, in my face before, and, yeah, it's kind of like a flashbang going off. You're all, adrenaline, I'm breaking into something, okay, and then all of a sudden, boom, just this 120 decibel alarm in your face. Like, you can't see. Like, everything goes white and you're, like, stunned. I've even had people just fall over when they accidentally set it off, which is, by the way, of course, my interns. But I only had a contact brake on the back door, and then I would always come in the front door. So it made sense, you know, because somebody would probably break in the back. It's a dark alley behind it. So that night I was like, okay, nothing happened. You know, I stayed up extra late, 1 a.m., and I'm like, yeah, nothing's happening, whatever, cool. Kept checking it. But yeah, if anybody came in the front door, even with the key, they would get blasted, and I would definitely hear it. Hopefully for their own sake, they'd run off, too. So then I set my alarm for 8 o'clock in the morning, and at about 7:05 or 7:10 in the morning, now recall I said I went to bed at 1, I heard the alarm go off. I'm like, what the hell? And then I realized that it was coming from right outside the door that was closed to the storage room in the back, which is where I was sleeping. So I real quick get my sweatpants on, grab my gun, and I'm still shirtless. I'm like, whatever, all I need is sweatpants, gun. That's all I need. We're doing the old Plaxico Burris. I didn't have it tucked in my waistband like an idiot. I had it in my hand. So I was like freaking out. I'm like, do I even go out there, or do I wait for whoever just broke in the back door to come in the front? And then I thought, you know what? Maybe it wasn't the creepy guy from last night watching the shop. Maybe it's my stupid landlords / real estate agents. They do both, I believe. You know, showing the place next door, the suite next door, showing it to a prospective buyer because the current person was getting kicked out. And that would be like the third time they accidentally showed off my section of the hallway because they have absolutely no idea where it starts and stops, even though I put a sign on the other side of the door that said my company name and like, do not enter, alarm will sound. So I thought, okay, is it like them, or was there an emergency? Because, you know, I don't know if you non-US people know, but it's illegal for anybody any landlord to come into a rented spot without permission. They have to give you 24 hours permission. So unless it's an emergency, like if the pipe burst or something, it's flooding. Otherwise, if they want to show it off to somebody, if they want to do a maintenance inspection, they have to let you know 24 hours ahead of time, and I certainly was not notified of anything. I thought, they're going to know I'm sleeping here, because I'm not usually here at 7:05 in the morning in sweatpants with a pistol and a mattress. And honestly, they probably wouldn't appreciate a gun pointed at them, but, you know, 24-hour rule, you're going to get a gun pointed at you regardless. So I got up, swept the hallways all tactical-like. You know, I've been playing some Rainbow Six, so I know how to clear a hallway, apparently. And I don't hear anything, and all the lights are still off. I thought, this is weird, but my back door was open. As soon as I opened the door to the storeroom, the back door was open. It was absolutely open, and the alarm was still going off, and I had to leave it still going off. Now, normally I am just as sharp as could be with a gun, and, you know, my judgment calls are perfect. I've gone through, you know, the virtual reality trading and everything, and I've gotten perfect scores. Like, I have, like, 100 millisecond response on who to shoot and who not. But I'm not much of a morning person. In fact, if you ask me what 2 + 2 is, within about 10 minutes of me getting up in the morning, I'm going to have to start using my fingers. So I'm just groggy as hell, 6 hours of sleep, just absolutely, you know, adrenaline awake because I'm like, oh crap, somebody's breaking the alarm's going off, what the hell do I do? So once I clear the whole place and it's completely empty, it's not a real big place, and I'm looking under tables, I'm checking the front's still secure. I'm sure some of the people across the street were like, why is there a shirtless guy across the street? walking around in an empty, dark store with a gun out. I have a feeling some of them probably saw me, and I can't tell you what's across the street for privacy reasons, but it's really funny. Just imagine it's like nuns or like an anti-gun place or something. It's about that funny, honestly. And so I check the back hallway, and then I real quick grab a shirt, go outside the back alley. There's nobody out there. My car's not broken into. Accidentally locked myself out, so then I gotta, find my keys that were luckily in my pocket. I go back in and I'm like, okay, what the hell happened? And then I figured it out. I finally figured it out. I had gotten up at about 2 a.m. to go to the bathroom, and the bathroom is through my back door that has the alarm on it. Now, the back door was built after the fact because it was supposed to be one giant, 10,000 square foot suite or something, and I had the middle one that had the main hallway that led to the bathrooms. And so they built that door really hastily, really on a cheap budget because, my landlord was cheap. He was in debt and stuff and owed the bank a ton of money. So you have to push the door, you push it closes, it clicks, but then you got to push it dead center again, right along the, I don't know what you call it, the middle by the door handle, and then it clicks again fully. So it doesn't really close or really lock unless it clicks the second time, and I wasn't really thinking at 2 a.m. And this has happened before. Here's the thing. So this is how I knew what happened. I put this together all CSI My Shoppy. Get it? It's a play on words with CSI Miami. I've arrived there in the past with the door open and the alarm going off, and I determined, because it happened one time during the day, that it's when one of my neighbors, which we all share a drop ceiling, it's one of my neighbors, opens their outside door, and the pressure in the whole building changes, because of temperature, swinging the door open, whatever. And the pressure wave travels through the drop ceiling and blows the door open, because there's just nothing holding it if you don't latch it correctly. So we've had, as we call it, the ghost open up the door, and it's really just air pressure, because we can hear them opening the door in a big whoosh, and we can kind of hear the ceiling move, and then boom, all of a sudden my door blows open. So apparently the restaurant that was in the strip kind of next to me-ish, they had opened their door, to get stuff baking in the morning or whatever they do, and it forced my door open, which set off the alarm. So fortunately for me, it was just air pressure, not an actual intruder, but at least my magic cards were safe. That's really the important part. I think we all know that. Oh, and nobody got shot, so I didn't have to clean up any bloodstains in the carpet. But really seriously, at least the magic cards were okay. So that's the story that I referenced a couple times that happened at my old shop. Most exciting thing that's happened to me lately, I guess. And that's not the only time I had to get my gun out at the shop, and the other times were a little bit less friendly, so I don't know if I'll talk about those. Never shot it at anybody but a paper target, though. I know, that one poor burglar who came in wearing a paper target. Jeez. Anyway, if you guys have any crazy stories about your local gaming store, people breaking in, or crazy stuff going on, or people sleeping inside of it, or whatever, share it down in the comments section. We'd love to hear about it. And I'll see you guys next time something crazy happens.